Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to share a couple Jakks Pacific Sega figures with you. I've got the Rue and the Weredragon.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Alright, let's very quickly go over the packaging. This is the second video I've done for some of these Jakks Pacific Sega figures, and the packaging is exactly the same as the other video, those other figures, because they are both from the same game. We've got Streets of Rage Rue here, Altered Beast Weredragon. So the image here is exactly what we got from the last figure, as is this figure, this graphic here for this figure. The only thing different is the figure inside. These are quite big bubbles, as you can see here. Let's turn them around really quick. There is image of the figure. This one does say it has 24 points of articulation, while this one has 29. There's a small image here of the figure, or a graphic of the figure in the game, as is here. So that's the packaging. Let's get them open. All right, we got the figures out of packaging, and they are a lot of fun, just like the last set. These guys are a lot of fun. These are, this guy's very similar. I think he uses a lot of the same buck as the werewolf. I'll bring him out here shortly. But I think this guy's mostly all brand new, from what I can tell. And although this guy uses some of the same buck, I think it's just the chest, actually. They're very unique. They're very unique. Had been playing with this guy quite a bit. I was surprised at how good this one is, though. He's kind of goofy, and I don't have a lot of goofy things in my collection, but he's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. So let's start with the dragon first. I think this is probably going to be the most wanted figure out of this set. This guy's really versatile. You know, he could be in your fantasy stuff. He could be sort of a, if you're using, you know, perspective, force perspective, I'm sure someone in their Marvel stuff could use this guy as like a Fing Fang Foom type thing. Very, very good figure. Let's see, he does come with one effect. This is his sort of flame mouth effect. You can see it's just a flat peg there, and it just slides right into his mouth, and he can hold it there, and it looks pretty good. This guy would look good if you had one of those little, I think are they McFarlane? I'm not sure, the Pacific Rim type stuff where they have these little buildings. You could also see this guy as like some kind of a Godzilla figure or something, or from that sort of universe of those Japanese type movies. Very cool. I thought what I was gonna say was, you know, this guy, and maybe it's not showing up as much on the camera, but I thought I'd say, you know, this guy could use a lot more shading. He could use a lot more weathering, but there actually is quite a bit. He's very sculpted well with those scales. I think the only place where a lot of weathering could help, if you wanted to make him look a little more like realistic, would be on his chest there and his lower body here. But there's actually a lot of shading in the scales, a lot of a wash, over the legs and the arms. The wings are probably where it really looks a little bit more plasticky. But the sculpt of this guy, the articulation of this guy, it's amazing, that these figures are only $10 with how much you get, out of it. Not accessory wise, but articulation wise, and how big he is, They still are saying that these are 1/18 scale, but they are definitely 5 inch. And it's okay because so far besides the one human character that they did with the Streets of Rage, which I'll also bring out here in a minute, they've all been monsters or creatures, and so those creatures don't need to be exactly 1/18, and they actually fit in better with your 1/18 stuff being a bit oversized. So this guy's a lot of fun. Let's talk about his articulation really quick, because he does have a few more points of articulation than this guy. It clearly says that on the box. So his wings, they are on a hinge, but they also have a ball joint, so they do spin. So you can get a nice closure kind of on the wings, but you can also get them out. And it's good because this guy, although he is pretty big, he can kind of simulate him flying if you have a stand, because his ankles, he does have that kind of a rocker ankle that you can kind of pin back. And if you put him up sort of looking down, he can look down. Now, I tried to count the points of articulation because I think it says 29. It's a bit difficult to count because in his neck here, I think you can see it's on like a swivel. Well, no, I guess it is a ball joint, but it doesn't get a lot of up and down, but it does swivel. And each one of these little neck pieces, most of them do turn. I think you can see that this one turns, and then if you hold it there, that one kind of turns. If you hold that one turns. So, and then again, this one, if I can get it, oh, that one doesn't turn. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you have about 4 points just right there in the neck. All right, so then you also have sort of a butterfly shoulder joint there, the ball swivel at the shoulder, butterfly ball joint, bicep swivel, double joint at the elbow, and then hinged wrists. He also has I think it's a ball joint here, sort of diaphragm, the waist, ball hinged hips, which work pretty well. Thigh swivel, double hinge at the knee, and then that rocker ankle I told you that on a hinge that can get all the way back, so it can look, like he is flying there if you get him in a couple poses, or if you have a flight stand that he's coming down from landing. So this is a lot of fun. This is a really good figure. I did get 2 of them. Just like the wolf, I think these guys look really good in pairs. Really good figure. I think this is the best one that they've made so far out of the 4 that I've gotten. Oh, and I missed the tail. He does have a ball joint here at the tail. Goes up and down, goes around, and then there is a swivel here right in the middle of the tail, so you can turn that around. So he's got a lot of scales down his spine, down the tail. There's actually a lot more, like I mentioned in the very beginning, there's a lot more paint apps on here than I anticipated. With the teeth, the mouth, the tongue, the eyes, the toenails, fingernails, even here on the back. A lot more than I anticipated. It's even better than I thought. It looked really good in the package, and having experience with the wolf, I knew that I was probably going to like it, but this guy's even better. No really problem standing him either because his feet are so wide. And you would think he's a bit top heavy, but these wings are pretty light. So haven't really had any issue with him standing so far. And you can always kind of push that tail down if you want to. and twist it. You can do the same thing with the roux, I'll show you, and you can kind of use the tail to kind of lean him back if you want, like so. All right, so that is the Weredragon. Definite pickup, $10. Gotta get this one, I think, if you like 1/18 scale action figures. Now let's talk about the roux, the kangaroo. Really silly. Don't have anything like this. I almost passed on this guy. I only got one of them. I'm glad I did get him. I'm kind of curious if, you know, he's got a ball joint here at the waist. If you could pop that off and if that would fit on the lower body of that werewolf. I don't think it will. This guy uses a lot of his pieces, but maybe because I think the upper body of this guy is awesome. These, you know, he's got that little butterfly joint. He's got little short arms with these boxing gloves, but you can get a lot of good, you know, boxing poses out of this guy. You know, he can cover up. He just, oh, this is a really good, like, you know, his upper body anatomically, if you know anything about boxing, you know, he can keep his shoulders in, his chin down. He can fight out of the peekaboo. You know, this is a really fun little figure. He's a bit strange, you know, his lower body, you can see that the trunks are sculpted solid. And he's really tall. If you can get him, you know, I think he's meant to be like a kangaroo, to be in more of a crouch, like so. So he loses a lot of his height. But you can straighten him out a bit. Whoops, you can straighten him out a bit and get him to sort of a full height. Again, you use his tail to kind of prop him up a bit, and you can see now he's just as tall. He's actually probably head taller, ears taller than the dragon. But I don't think he's totally meant to be like that. He's meant to be more in the kangaroo crouch, like a real kangaroo. In which case you don't need the tail as much because he does have a really wide base, just like this guy, really wide feet. It does come with this sort of punch effect. It just fits right over the glove, either glove. Just squeeze right over it. Very, very cool figure. Not a lot of paint apps on this one. The paint's not quite as good. The sculpt's not quite as good on this guy as the dragon, but I think that's just what, you know, the character is. You can kind of see they kind of drew some musculature on him. There's a little bit of a texture on there to kind of look like fur. Not much though. The tail too, very simple. You can kind of see that texture on there. There's not much to it. It does have a ball joint and that little swivel, just like the dragon does here at the bottom, that you can kind of move around. Otherwise, articulation-wise, he has a ball-jointed head, those butterfly kind of shoulders with the ball hinge, bicep swivel, double-hinged elbow, and he does have a hinge in the wrist. Very slight because of the sort of the cuff of the boxing glove, but it is there. Ball hinge at the abdomen, diaphragm. Got these ball hinged hips that do work really well, and double hinge at the knee. It's a little bit limited because of the shorts, and then a hinged rocker ankle. So this guy's really fun. Oh, I forgot your name now. I forgot one of you guys. I'm sorry. Forgot who it was, but mentioned this guy would look really good battling the Joy Toy Turtles, and I think they're right. Definitely looks like he could be from that world. But really fun little figure. Can get a lot of good boxing poses out of this guy. Glad I got him. Glad I got him. I would be curious to see though if I'm more. Yeah, see, I'm not sure if I could take that apart. But this upper body on the lower body of that wolf, that would be really, really cool. Because to me, it's the lower body of this figure is that kind of holds it back for me, but I know this is, you know, game accurate, screen accurate, and this is how he looks in the game, so that's why the figure looks like this. But for me, I think the upper body of this guy is just awesome. The gloves, everything. Get so many good little poses out of him. He's fun. He's a lot of fun. Both of these figures are a lot of fun. They are Walmart exclusives, so you've got to find them at Walmart or on Walmart.com. That's where I got mine. $10, $9.99. What a deal. What a deal. Articulation, size, the amount of plastic, very, very good. And in this guy's case, I would say the sculpt as well. So let's bring out the other two from this line and kind of do a little quick comparison. All right, and here is the lineup. I did probably misspeak. There is one more figure so far in this line. He's a little guy. I can't remember what it is or what game he's from, but it didn't interest me. And you can see here how the human figure, I forget his name, he is about 5 inches, so he's a little bit out of scale with other 118 figures. But where this line is excelling so far is the creature assortment. And I can tell now too, the upper chest of these two is the same, but that appears to be the only reuse between these two. And obviously, these two, I think, are different as well. Yeah, so not that much reuse in this line that I can tell so far. But these are really fun figures. Where this line excels is the creatures, though. As good as this guy is, and he is really posable, he is out of scale, and he is of a certain look that, you know, he's not realistic. He's stayed true to the source material, the game, just like these guys. But these guys you can use them a little bit differently because they are monsters, are creatures, so to speak. But you can see they line up pretty well. These are a lot of fun. I do like this guy. I just don't have a real good place for him because he's out of scale. But these three will definitely find a place in the collection if this guy, at the minimum, you know, is fighting the turtles or something else. I just wonder if this could be taken off and dropped on a different lower body. Doesn't look like that would be the same. Possibly this one could fit on the top of this lower body. I'm not sure how that would look, but you can see there, it's surprising that how big this dragon is, even compared to the wolf here. Just lean him back there, as compared to the kangaroo as well. Kangaroo and the wolf are about the same height, you know, when he's in his crouch. But this Weredragon is a much, much bigger and even a bit taller than the guy. So yeah, the dragon, they've gotten bigger. So the dragon now is sort of the biggest figure in the line. But I definitely like this line. I think the articulation, you know, what you get for $10, you just can't beat that. Reminds me a little bit of the Fortnite stuff when the Fortnite stuff came out. Surprised at how articulated they were and at the price point. I hope this line has some legs and it just keeps going, because I would like to get more figures from both of these games, and Sega's library of games is so vast. I mean, it seems like they could go on for quite a while. There's a lot of figures that they could make, but they look great and they pose well. So definite pickups. I can recommend them, guys. Please, you know, look for your local Walmarts if you're interested. Like I said, Walmart.com. I'll try to leave a link to these guys, these two new guys, in the description below if the link still works. Like I said, $10 a piece. Can't beat it. So that's the video, guys. Well, you know what? Before we go, let's do a size comparison with some other lines really quick. All right, so just one size comparison here. We've got Ron from Toy Pizza, Knights of the Slice. We've got Toys Alliance, Hidoshi, and we've got the Star Wars Vintage Collection, Ezra, here from Rebels, or from the Ahsoka show. And although they're all different, Ron does look like he's kind of in this world, doesn't he? Because he is very comic booky. I don't see why Hidoshi or Ezra couldn't be hunting down or fighting this dragon. Maybe Ron is duking it out with this kangaroo. Um, but you can see, I think they still work well. The scale isn't so off. In fact, especially, since they're creatures again, they're monsters, it does fit, I think, in with your other lines, even though these are a bit large for your 118. Where it really throws it off is when you throw in a human character, and that human is 5 inch. So if you take this guy out of the mix, I think this works, especially with these guys. So there is quick size comparison for you. All right, guys, so there you go. There is the Weredragon and the Rue from the Jakks Pacific Sega line. Both, I think, are great figures. Both are pickups, especially at the $10 price point. Even if you're kind of on the fence about them, I think $10 is one of those amounts that it's worth taking a risk to see if you like or not. So I would recommend these, and I would grab one or two if you spot them or if you see them online. So that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.